Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing a video today, and this video is it's probably going to lead to a third video because I wanted to talk about something that happened recently to a really good friend of mine that's who is in the hospital right now. So, if you have any magic or well wishes to give, or prayers or whatever, or sacrifices or whatever, please do that because he is in a critical period of his life. I think he's going to be okay at this point, but it's been quite an ordeal for him. So, and that's because he's involved with role playing that I do once or twice a week, depending. So, he's like one of the main people, or the main person that we do that with. In a way, he's like the leader of the group. So, anyways, I was going to talk about Stranger Things and Eddie Munson and a lot of the hype and stuff. Oh my God, there's this thing from the '80s called heavy metal music and Dungeons and Dragons. It's kind of cool, It's like, okay, it's like, oh, okay, all right, It's kind of become hip to, like, there was even like the CVS pharmacy selling these mood rings that people were looking for because Eddie Munson wore them. It's like this little fad kind of thing. I just think it's cute and hilarious and kind of pathetic, but whatever. But the major factor that I wanted to talk about today in this video is this weird synchronicity that I've had with Stranger Things in regards to my role-playing group and this character that I play in the role-playing game. So we play this this game called World of Darkness. It's like mage, vampire. You've probably heard of Vampire the Masquerade. They're all part of this shared world system. Now, the Masquerade is like, for example, like let's say something supernatural happens, and then the newspaper tries to cover it up because there's no such thing as a supernatural and that kind of stuff. Like there's always these, for various reasons, people wanted to keep it secret or on the down low. That's what the Masquerade is. It's even on like tvtropes.com. Like they talk about the Masquerade being in series and cartoons and video games and stuff and literature. It's kind of a common thing that people talk about. So, but why I went into that, I'm just saying, like, I like that concept a lot. But so anyways, and I think it was on Supernatural too, they actually did that. So anyways, this game is World of Darkness, and there's vampires, there's mages, there's all sorts of stuff. It's in this particular game takes place in this small, medium-sized town in Massachusetts. I'm not going to name it because I don't want to dox. No, never mind. It's an inside joke. Anyone or anything like that. But it's just, we play this game. So we've been playing this game. I've been playing the 70s character for about 11 or 12 years. And he's like a Republican in the 70s, like a Republican teenager. So we've been playing these teenagers fighting these supernatural things for 12, 13 years. I've been playing this game with these guys, and we play the 70s one. We haven't played that in a long time, but it's a lot of fun. It's like this group of kids, and they fight evil or whatever, or various nefarious forces that are out there. So about a year and a half ago, my friend, who actually is still doing, he's all right, but he also helps run the game. He came up with an idea that we should do an 80s World of Darkness game, and in the same town that we do, because this town is known for supernatural stuff that we play it in, which is kind of funny with with Stranger Things, because it's like this town that it's not in New England, but obviously it's in Indiana, but it has that kind of vibe, in the town. So this year and a half ago, I decided to do this character named Pat, and this Pat guy is loosely based on this guy that my brother knew in high school back in the 80s, and he was troublemaker kind of guy, like a lot of metalheads or heshers were back then or whatever. And this kind of culminated into Pat, because my parents are divorced, living under my dad's crawl space for a couple of weeks in a sleeping bag. Like, that's like he ran away from home and he was living down there, and then my father would go to work and then he'd come up and eat with my brother, and like it's just crazy shit. People were, and smoked a lot of pot and stuff too, and probably had a kid at like 17 or 18 or whatever, I believe. I don't know. They were living like way older adult lives very young. So I sort of based this guy, and I based his look and his like a little bit on Cliff Burton and like this guy from his band Vendetta kind of looked. I don't know why I saw Pat as that, and one of the original Stranger Things metalheads too, the brother of the redhead chick or whatever, I forgot his name right now, but God, it's at the edge of my tongue, but I can't think about it. So I named this guy Pat, and what's weird about him is that he's an 80s metalhead and he's kind of nerdy too, though. I don't think he plays role playing, but he wants to, but he does a lot of drugs and he tries to get laid a lot. He does actually, which is kind of ironic, but anyway. So I play this guy, and what was weird was I got this battle jacket in 2020 built, basically, and then one of the people that we role play with, she sewed all the patches on there, and it was just kind of funny because I used to actually wear it when I was playing this character too. And what's funny is that this character also deals little drugs, and he's very boisterous and loud, and he likes to cause a lot. He's very good with. He's a very swift, like very. What I'm trying to say, like he's very swift-witted kind of person. So, and a lot of the stuff, and he lives in a trailer park with his father, not his uncle, but his father, and he has a band called Bone Crusher. It's like proto black metal thrash or whatever, because this is 1984. This takes place in this game. So I did a song called Bone Crusher. You can check it out on my other channel. I'm going to actually do more songs of this project because it sounds a little like it sounds a lot like Slayer and Exodus, but sort of like Bathory too, mixed together. In a certain way, it reminds me of this one Exodus song, and I don't know. It's bad production on purpose, but anyways. So he's in this band. He's trying to like make it big, and I base a couple of the NPCs that are around him on some people that I grew up with my brother and stuff too. Oh, including my brother too, a little bit. So what's funny is that I watched Stranger Things, part 4 or season 4, and I'm like, oh my God, this is Pat. This is the character that I've been playing in role playing. Like it's just like his personality and his vibe, and I was just freaked out by it. Right away, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this because there's a metalhead character. I'm gonna see where they go with it. But like a lot of his gestures and it's just like the way he thinks and stuff is very much like him. I mean, he's a little less horny than Pat, but it's a PC politically correct fucking show sort of too. So they're not gonna put a lot of like. I heard that they were censoring the Peeping Tom scene from Jonathan Byers or whatever his name is, and I just watched the scene on Netflix, so I can confirm they did not censor that scene of him with taking pictures of Nancy taking her bra off or whatever or taking her shirt off. They did not censor it, so that's a total propaganda. I don't know if it's propaganda or disinformation or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's kind of strange because I've been playing this character since I think it was middle of 2020 or something like that, and because I wasn't quarantining at all. I wasn't quarantining like I was supposed to. Of course, people criticize me for that, but it's controversial. But I'll talk about some of these subjects maybe some other time. I couldn't deal with that, but I had a bubble, like they talked about, a bubble, a social distancing bubble, whatever. I just hate all that stuff so much. So, but I play this character, and it is Eddie Munson in so many ways. He's held back too, like 2 grades. just like Eddie Munson is. Like, there's just like so many similarities. It's sick. So like, I can't hate on, I didn't watch the third season. I didn't really like the second season, but like, I had to watch because this guy is Pat Schmalz, which is a name that, okay, I'm not going to say where I got the last name from. It's a personal story I'm not going to talk about, but it's one of those Germanic names that is popular or in the Midwest. But he's in Massachusetts. I shouldn't even say that name, but I did. It's just like, and you could spell. I'm not going to spell it or write down what the last name looks like, because that's kind of doxing people too. But you could just imagine it's a Germanic name. You could just put any Germanic name to his last name, but he has his father that's like kind of abusive, and like he's kind of an drunk asshole and stuff like that. And I play him, and I'm just like doing all this crazy shit, and I have this different voice for him too, that I don't talk normal me when I'm playing this character. But I love this character. It's one of my favorite characters. He does have a magic power. He's like sees ghosts and shit or whatever, but like it's pretty fascinating that this guy is so similar to Eddie Munson, to the point of like wanting to do a lot of the same stuff he does. It's just like, it made me feel, it was just so weird watching that. So I know a lot of people hate Stranger Things. I think it's overrated, a lot of crap and stuff. It's still better than most of the new Marvel stuff that came out anyways, but it is what it is. But like, this character is definitely like so similar to Eddie Munson, to the point of having some of the same like patches and buttons he does and stuff. Now, Pat has a Venom Welcome to Hell patch on his battle jacket. I wrote down all sorts of stuff about this character and stuff, and it's just like, and I don't see Eddie Munson exactly, but like, it's so similar. Like, does a lot more drugs, is a little more of a juvenile delinquent than Eddie Munson is in the show. It's like almost like let's take John Constantine or John Constantine, Hellblazer, the Hellblazer comics. Like, there were the Hellblazer comics, which ran from 1988 through 2013, and then there were these like sort of more soft, like kiddie versions of John Constantine that were in the DC universe. So Eddie Munson is like Pat in that like more Disney-fied kind of universe, and then Pat in the campaign that we've been playing is the more edgier version of that. But and he even has a gun that he carries in his pants, like in his underwear. Like, he likes to carry a gun, a loaded gun. I don't know about that part about it. It's a little crazy, but it's just like an interesting thing. They got some from some mafioso that left. I forgot the whole story, but anyways, that's about all.